How would you prepare? Okay. I'm starting out with, I think, is the most complicated question. How would you prepare? You can't just give an answer of 10 grams, right? You have to describe how you would prepare it. Now, if you're going to prepare this solution, ooh, great. It's a solution. All these are solutions. What's the solute and what's the solvent in this solution? What's the solute and what's the solvent? Yeah, and what's the solvent? Do you hear? The Na2CO3 is the solute. What's the solvent? H2. How do you know it's H2O? Yeah, aqueous. That's their way of saying water, right? Okay. So how would you prepare? Pretty much, you have to imagine yourself. You have to add, you don't know, how many, we're going to calculate that, how many grams of what? And dump it in water? Na2CO3. You have to add, we're going to figure it out, that's why I left it blank, so many grams of Na2CO3, sodium carbonate, add that many grams to water. We get how many grams total? Until you get 250 grams of solution. Okay. I guess you could also answer the question by saying, add, we'll figure it out, grams of sodium carbonate to, you could say the number of grams of water. Just subtract this guy from 250. That works too. Okay. But that's what I'm saying. This question is a little more complicated because it says, how would you prepare? Okay. See how we're going to calculate it. Crystal, remember the game. We got to pick the equation. Top right over here. Mass percent of solute. Everybody agree? Yeah. 10%. Here's a big hint, I think, once they say the percent. Okay. Mass percent of solute. This one. So we are going to put in Jose, what numbers are you going to plug in here? 250 grams in the bottom here. Everybody, how about the 10? Where are you going to put that? Yeah, the left side, the mass percent. Then up on top, we could just write mass of solute or mass of sodium carbonate. Either one works as long as you can write mass of solute, but then you have to remember, oh yeah, solute is sodium carbonate. Okay. I purposely left out the percent because otherwise I feel like pushing the stupid percent button on the calculator. So I left it out. Oh, did we forget something? Times 100. Okay, otherwise I feel like pushing it. I also left out the units because how I like to do these is if I need to or add some weird funky units, I do that outside of the equation. And I just put in the numbers because then it's so much easier to see what to do. We have to do a little research before we move on. Let's say we have B equals A over C or something, right? Valerie, the B is already solved for. But how would you solve for the A? A would equal what times what? Or A would be what? There's an easy way and a hard way to do this. I like doing this diagonal thing. Okay? So I want to solve, what did I say? A? I want to solve for A. So that means I got to get rid of the C. Has to go along the diagonal. So A would be B times C. Now you can also do it the long way. It's 2 steps, right? Okay, C's in the bottom, so multiply both sides by C, right? So the C's cancel, end up with C over there. But this is so much faster. It works every single time. Just move things along the diagonal. I'm going to solve for A, so I just get BC is going to be A. What if I wanted to solve for C? Lewis, if I wanted to solve for C, do the diagonal game. Move the C to where the B is, right? Because if you're going to solve for C, it can't be in the bottom. So he's moving the C where the B is, and then you got to get rid of the B, move it to where the C was, right? So move the C up on the top, B down to the bottom, you end up with C over there, A is up here, B's down the bottom. Right? Technically, you could write C over 1, but C. Okay. So play the diagonal game. So play the diagonal game. The mass of sodium carbonate, Daisy, would be not an answer. Just what would the numbers? What would all the numbers be? So I want to solve for just this guy. We got to get rid of him and get rid of him. So we have the 10. Keep going. Remember the diagonal. So the 250 goes up on the top or the bottom? The top. So we have 10 times 250. Got to get rid of this guy yet. Goes on the bottom, right? You recognized it? That the 100's up on top, that goes on the bottom. 250's on the bottom, goes up there. So 10 times 250 all over 100. Okay. 10 times 250 divided by 100. About 25 is my answer. Oh. So that is what we put up here. Add 25 grams of sodium carbonate to water until we get 250 grams solution. So we could say add 25 grams of sodium carbonate to how many grams of water? To 225. That would be another answer. Add 25 grams of sodium carbonate to 200. The total has to be 250. So that also works. It seems to me this is easier, but they all work.